welcome back. We are live here at AWS Reinforce 2023. We are going to talk about building a persona-centric data lake with Amazon Security Lake this session. My name's Sydney Studi, and let's pass it around for intros.
Yeah, hey everyone, my name is Jeff Marushak. I'm a senior solutions architect on the AWS DoD Air Force team, so I basically help the Air Force with cloud computing. But more importantly, our guest Raghav, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raghavara Sodabattina. I'm a principal solutions architect at AWS. I've been with AWS about 3.5 years.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for being here. Super excited to talk about this today. So let's jump in. What is Amazon Security Lake?
Yeah, let me run through a few slides. If you see there is a enterprise-wise collecting a security data, it's really challenging because data has been growing and there are many personas within the cyber security. There could be a security analyst, there could be a security engineer, there could be a CISO, there could be a security manager. And their cyber security analytics are different based on the persona. And collecting this data, and then a lot of volumes are going security data. I mean, it could be coming from application, it could be coming from your infrastructure. And getting that all this, you have to do some kind of a instrumentation. And again, sometimes you get incomplete data, and then you need to process the data, or you need to aggregate the data to derive insight out of your security data. So again, generally within the cybersecurity world, security team doesn't own the security data. They have to rely on an IT organization, and they create some kind of a security data to them, and then they enable them. So based on our many customers' requests, we understand what are the challenges, because they're going to spend a lot of time on explaining cybersecurity organization what my data needs and all. They're spending a lot of time on collecting the security data, then analyzing. That is where we introduced service. If you look at if a cybersecurity organization, if they want to collect a data, automatically security data from all of your AWS account. And you can also collect the data from any third party also, even from on-prem. And then what if you are going to normalize hold that data for you, and then a service automatically can create a storage, like a data lake for you, and then at the end, right, based on the security persona, they can derive the insight based on their job role. That is where, looking at all these challenges.
I have a feeling that there is a service that does all these things.
Okay, so I'm coming there. Okay. There is a open cybersecurity security schema framework, which it's like an open source. AWS is also a partner there, and there are many other organizations who are making it as an open source so that it can be used across organization. So yeah, this is the service. This is called Amazon Security Lake. Amazon Security Lake. It's a new security service that automates like sourcing, aggregation, normalization, enrichment, and data management of security data across the organization into a lake, all right? So that data can be accessed, and then use cases like threat detection, investigation, or instant response. The data can be centralized. You don't need to worry about creating a data ingestion pipelines, collecting the data from CloudWatch logs,
Right.
collecting data from VPC flow logs, all that and all.
You touched on it earlier, and just think if you're talking enterprise security,
Right.
with more applications there are, then you have that application team that decided to do its logs this way.
Right.
And based on their requirements, they decided to only report on this. But as an enterprise, a security lake would be able to standardize all the
Yes.
logs and
Yeah.
keep everything in one place. And now being the persona part is going to help the right people see what they need to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is where we have to bring in security in the upper life cycle before application development team start working on it. What is the log requirement? That has to match with audit and security compliance. At the end of the day, whatever we do, application security or a compliance, it all to achieve business objectives. It could be providing a better customer experience and generating more revenue, whatnot, right?
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. So let's talk about here how Amazon Security Lake works. There is a wide variety of log sources where you can connect it, like Amazon VPC, CloudFront, and then Lambda, and Security Hub, as well as GuardDuty. And then you can bring your own data as well. Once you bring the data, basically it create all like a schema for you, right? When you're collecting a data ingestion, the second step is you have to have a catalog, right, to query the data or to derive the insight. Amazon Security Lake automatically create a schema. So we have a service called AWS Glue. It's kind of a data integration tool. It does like data processing and data catalog. We have something called Glue Data Catalog. You don't need to create any data catalog. Just you select what are the sources you want to bring the security data, and then Security Lake will create a schema for you automatically. And when you are bringing data incrementally, it automatically updates your schema as well.
Wow.
And that's based on that the open source cybersecurity schema that you mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
Is that changeable at all when you're creating your security lake, or is that kind of like built in?
It's like a built-in. You don't need to worry about that.
Gotcha.
You know, because that is, we are making it a standard, open source standard, so that other organizations also can follow. And not only AWS, there are many other organizations are contributing to that framework.
And that goes back to what I said earlier about different applications, different requirements. People log things a different way.
Yeah.
If you don't know exactly what a schema should look like, this would be a good. This is done for you.
It's done for you. Yes, exactly.
So you can take your different sources of logs and put it all in one place, and now you have a central location to look at logs for the first time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That we're offering. That's very powerful. I can imagine some many applications.
And once your data is centralized and data is cataloged, we have a lot of services here. For example, security analysis, right? Security analysis can query the centralized data lake data by using Amazon Athena. Amazon Athena is nothing but open source Apache Presto. You can just query the data like the way you query the data from a database. And Amazon OpenSearch is our operational analytics. It comes with inbuilt threat detection rules. You can take the security data lake data, and then you can build some rules. And then it comes with OpenSearch dashboard. Earlier, we used to call it Kibana dashboard, where you can set up the alerts based on your threat detection rules. And you can send an SMS or send an email based on your security persona. Also, you can take this security Amazon Security Lake data and run some of the machine learning, some of the unknown threats. Amazon SageMaker is like an end-to-end machine learning platform where you can basically build, train, and deploy the model. And that model could be for your threat detection. So I'm going to talk about a little bit. These are the lot of Amazon Security Lake partners. There are many partners who have been working at it. This number is growing. Here is the steps, right? Here, first, what you are going to do, you are going to, this is the console page. I'm going to take the console as well. It works with AWS organization because we wanted to make sure that we provide a centralized governance. Sure. That's where you can use everything starting from AWS governance. And then here, basically, you are going to select which regions. You can bring the data from all the account, from all the regions into single location here. And then here, basically, once you did this, you're done, basically. All right?
You have to choose what account all the data is going to, where the lake is going to be, and probably what S3 bucket it's going to be in, et cetera.
I'll show you. S3 bucket, So this is how security engineer can come. This is Athena screen. They can simply just query like a regular query. This is the simple example how they can do it. And now, behind the scene, what we are doing, basically, we are managing all the data lifecycle for you. And it create a S3 bucket on behalf you, and it will configure retention settings also, right? And then you can change them. It comes with some of the inbuilt things, and then it will create. And if you look at it, here, Amazon S3, that is where whole data is centralized. AWS Glue, that's where we are using for creating a catalog. And then it normalizes data into OCSF, right? That way you have a unified data format to derive the insight from your security lake. And then if you look at, you can bring all the security data, everything into AWS. Not only the AWS thing, if you have data from on-prem, and then you can bring it. And you don't need to worry about it because it is managed services. There is no software to install. There is no license involved. You just tell what data you need to bring in, then it will consolidate. And here is some of the where you can do the thing. You can basically query the data, what I shown in the earlier slide, Athena. And then again, I want to talk about one service here. I mean, once you have a data, you need to, data integrity is very important, right? You need to provide right access to right job role. That's where we have a AWS Lake formation. Based on the AWS Lake formation, let's say you have like 5 roles in our organization. Security engineer access requirement could be different, whereas security analyst access requirement could be different. And then CISO or security manager access requirement is different. So what you can do, you can create a role and assign to that particular job function, and then provide access by using lake formation. Lake formation comes with fine-grained access control, where you can provide the access at the table level, at the database level, at the column level, even at the row level if it required. So
and that's done in the Security Lake console, is where you can do that?
Yes, it's not in a security lake. You have to go to the lake formation console. I'm going to show you that. It's kind of like a normal where you do the relational database, where you grant a command. The similar way you can just grant whether it's a select only or that persona can insert or delete or create a table and all. This is the, once the whole data is done, right, you can also configure some of the subscriber. Subscriber could be like SQSQ, right? If data is coming, you can, or it could be an event bridge. There are some of the examples here. I'm going to talk about, this session thing is all about persona-centric, right? And this is like a SIEM, right? Security Information Event Management System.
Okay.
I mean, you can use Amazon OpenSearch service within the AWS, or if not, your SIEM could be Splunk.
Right.
It could be anything. I mean, you have a data there, you just plug in that data, centralize its security data into your SEM tool. It could be anything. It could be, we have partnership with many other services, and these are some of the things. I talked about Splunk. It could be a Sumo Logic, or it could be a Datadog. It could be a Trellix. I think they're behind us.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Just behind us.
There they are.
They're right here.
Hey, guys.
So you can use it. So this is some of the pricing. I'm not going there. I just want to talk about the title of this is how to build a persona-centric data lake, right? So this is where the sources could be Amazon S3, Lambda, or it could be CloudFront.
Raghav, can I ask a question? Can you help our viewers understand when we've been talking about a security lake? When you say persona-centric, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, I'm coming there.
Okay.
So once you have identified sources, security lake is going to collect the data. And if you look at here, security analyst is a persona. And they can use Athena to query the data on top of centralized security data.
Yeah.
Now let us look at another persona here. Amazon OpenSearch service is an operational analytics service. I mean, you can build a SCIM kind of a tool. DevSecOps engineer is looking at operational thing, what is happening to my application.
Sure. Yep.
And then they can create some of the dashboard by using Amazon OpenSearch dashboard, and then they can create an alert. And now, another thing is, as we talked about, once the whole data is centralized, you can use SageMaker to build machine learning models, right from training, and then you can deploy it, and then you can integrate with your application also. And one example could be like, there could be some threats which are very unknown, and you can't predict it. That is where you can bring in some security data. For example, fraud detection. Let's say account takeover, or maybe new user registration. You want to make sure that the user who are registering, that user is not fraudulent, he is a legit, or he or she is a legit, right?
Yeah.
That is where you can bring in some historical data, train the model, and then model comes with an API. API is nothing but like a web service, and then you can integrate with your web application and mobile app, and the model gives like some score. If it is a high score, I mean, based on your requirement, you have to define, right? Let's say your fraud score, like a risk score is like above 900. Maybe you want to deny that sign-in because that could be a fraudulent. Or you can define another rule like a medium risk, maybe 700 to 900, where you can create some friction, right? Friction means like asking user to send an SMS code and then enter, okay, this person is person. And the third one is legit, right? Legit customer let the registration let go completely successful. And then other user persona here is security engineer. Security engineer wanted to see all the security events and what is the root cause so that they can control the repetition of those activities. That is where they can use the detective to find out the root cause and then implement the fixes. The last one is like last persona is basically CISO or a security manager. They want to see overall picture, right? We have Amazon QuickSight. It's a business intelligence tool where they can create a good dashboard based on their interests, right? Our overall enterprise security data, based on they can slice and dice and data, and then they can update this data. They can see really. I know we have 4 minutes left, but this is the product page. There is a security code. Amazon Security Lake is GA now, and the customer can start using it. We announced this service at the reInvent as a preview. Now it is generally available. But I'll quickly take over to the Security Lake console. I'll show you a few things.
Sure.
Whatever I talked about it.
While you're moving over, just curious, what makes it? We talked about the different personas, and those all make sense.
Okay.
But what makes it persona centric? Like what advantages do each of those, like what does Security Lake do to give an advantage to each one of those personas? Like, how is it persona-centric?
I mean, see, how is a persona-centric means like the Security Lake is natively integrated with AWS Analytics and AI services.
And all those services that were right next to each persona, like AWS Detective, Sage. Okay, gotcha.
Our goal is to empower all personas within the cyber security organization.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is the Security Lake console. Here is the sources. Where you can select here like a cloud trial, you can say enable. This is what I was telling, right? You can select all the regions, not only one region. You can bring in all the data. Basically, you can enable here. Then behind the scene, basically, it will collect the all log. And then you have like EPC flow logs also. You can do the same enable. I'm just taking some example because of time. And then you enable everything here. And then if you come here, right, I was talking about it create a data catalog for you, right? This is where I'm going, data catalog here. Here is the database. You see, this is the database it created. Under this, these are the separate tables. For example, CrowdTrail, there is a separate table. There is a Lambda action. There is a separate Route 53. Like this, these are the tables. Now, if a security analyst, that user can come to Athena, and then they can query. I mean, see, we made it very simple. We just selected the data sources. Behind the scene, it collected the data and created everything for you. And then it also created the schema. And if the data is keep on coming, automatically it will update all the data catalog. You don't need to worry about data ingestion and the data processing because it auto converts the format here. So here is some of the queries here where basically you can run some of the things. You can say like preview here. This will talk about, these are some of the results. And I was talking about lake formation. So I wanted to take you to the lake formation. You are asking where and all. The lake formation is a fine-grained access control. For example, it comes with a permission, right? This is called data lake permission. You click on a grant here. When you click on a grant here, right, it comes with the IAM roles, whether you want to provide a fine-grained access control at the user level or a role level. There could be a persona where that access requirement could be unique. You cannot map with a job function and a role. That is the reason you create an IAM user and then provide IAM policies, right, based on the access requirement. Here, you can select a role. For example, here, I'm selecting my role. I have a role called Raghav. I'm selecting here. Here, there are the requirement here, like a named resource. Here, I can select the database. I can select like what table it is. And then I select here. And I give alt access. And click on grant. So now I have access.
That's awesome.
It's
I know
a-
we're coming right up on time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Any last thoughts before we close?
I mean, take advantage of using Amazon Security Lake. This is the product page, and we'll be producing a lot more content about how to take advantage of the Security Lake.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming, Raghav. I'm
you.
Sydney
Thank you.
Studi, and Jeff signing out. See you next time.